Hello there. Happy Friday. Welcome to this week's marketing training. I'm really excited to be back in this seat. If you didn't know, went on vacation last week for the first time ever. I have never, since I started my business, taken true dedicated time off. So thanks for hanging in there while I was gone. And I'm just really excited and refreshed and glad to be back. So if you can see me and hear me okay, will you do me a favor and just give this video a like? Looks like we've got a couple of eyeballs here. If you can see and hear me, just give me that thumbs up if you can, so that I don't just drone on and on with no awesome thank you for that thumbs up with no one hearing me. We have lots of new faces in this group, and you may not have met me, especially if you joined during this time that I was gone. So if this is your first time joining me for a training, hi, I'm really happy you're here. My name's Anna Walker. I run this group. I get to run this group. And everything that we do here is about helping you grow your private pay caseload in a way that is effective, because I don't believe that you should have to spend hours and hours, which is what our topic is about today, or tons and tons of money in order to actually get results and to bring in those private pay ideal fit clients that you love to work with, but is also authentic. You may have run across marketing strategies or heard of things that just don't feel right to you. We are anti-slimy here, and we are all about helping you market yourself in a way that feels really aligned to who you are. And the good news is that usually you have better results that way anyway. So that's what we do around here, and every so often I pop in for these Friday trainings to talk about something that I've been hearing from clients that they're needing some support around. And the topic today is 3 client attracting website tweaks that take less than 30 minutes. So we talk a lot about websites in here simply because your website is your #1 marketing tool as a clinician. But I recognize that you probably don't have a ton of time to pour into it, and that you might just be looking for ways to make helpful changes here and there. And so today we're going to talk about 3 kind of game changer changes you can make that aren't going to take forever. So I hope that you're as excited about this as I am. If you are joining me live, please feel free to say hello in the comments. Let me know where you're joining from. If you're catching the replay, drop a #replay there in the comments so that if you have any questions, I can jump back to this recording. The awesome part about you being here live right now is that you get to ask questions. So if you're struggling with something around your website, if I talk about something here that you want clarification on, ask. Please do that, and I will take some time at the end to answer those questions. So please use this as an interactive time, as a way to get the support that you're looking for, because I want you to walk away and make some changes to your website that turn into clients, right? That's the goal. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive in. Like I said, if you are here live, feel free to say hello in the comments. I mentioned that your website is your #1 marketing tool, and I want to make sure we're all really clear on why that is. Thanks to the pandemic, we are especially online in a way that we never were before, but really over the last 5 years, a website has become almost a non-negotiable when it comes to appearing as a legitimate business. Now that's true if you're a private practitioner. It's also true if you're a marketing person like me, if you're a hair salon, whatever. We're all looking online. And so your website is super, super important. As a clinician though, it's especially important because I like to think of your website kind of at the center of your marketing. All of the other marketing that you're doing. You might be posting on social media, you might have a profile on Psych Today or other directories. You might be really focusing on networking right now. You might be blogging, whatever that is. All of these things are driving back to your website. Whether someone's having a conversation with their OB who refers you, or they're finding you on Psych Today, they're coming back to your website. And so if your website can't do its job, then all the rest of your marketing that you're doing can't do its job as well either. That is why your website is so important, especially if your goal is to bring in private pay clients. Private pay clients are evaluating you and making decisions about who they're going to work with based on what they see when looking for you. And so your website really needs to be able to pull its weight. So that's why we're so passionate about this in this group. It's why you're going to see a lot of resources around websites, because if this can do its job and this is doing its job, everything else in your marketing is going to be more effective as well. So these 3 changes that we're going to talk about today are with a couple things in mind. One, Google friendliness. I want you to get found on Google. Hello, like free marketing. Yes, please, right? I want you to get found on Google. And so the changes that we're going to be talking about today have that in mind. And they also have the decision-making process of your client in mind. Now, what do I mean by that? I've supported upwards now of 1,000 different therapists, which is wild to say, with their websites specifically. And so I've learned what does and doesn't work when it comes to connecting with these people. Your website is an opportunity to establish connection and start fostering relationship with someone before you even speak with them, right? You as a clinician are really wonderful at building rapport. It's one of the skills that makes you, good at what you do. Your website is an opportunity to do that earlier, to let your marketing start building rapport. And so that is what we're keeping in mind with these changes as well. Google friendliness, getting found on Google, SEO, those 3 letters you so often hear about, but also forming connection, because that is what that private pay client is looking for. So first and foremost, seriously, if you take nothing, like if you just leave after this tip, you will have taken away the biggest tip. I'm not saving it for last, we're hitting it first. The best tweak that you can make to your website, and usually the first thing I suggest to my clients when I'm reviewing their websites, optimize your hero spaces. Now that's kind of jargony a little bit. Optimize, improve your hero spaces. Your hero spaces are the top sections of every page of your website. When I load up your homepage for the first time, I see the hero space of your homepage. And if that space doesn't immediately connect with me and let me know that I'm in the right place, I'm gonna leave. Studies actually show that to us in the attention span and the response of people when loading up a website for the first time. We have like less than a second to form connection. So that space better do its job. This is the most important real estate of your entire website. So your homepage definitely, like your most important, but also your about page. And also, please, please, please don't forget those specialty pages. I hope right now with your website that you have dedicated pages for each of your specialties. That might be one for anxiety, one for teens, one for life transitions, whatever that is, but hopefully you have individual pages for each of your specialties. That's going to be powerful from an SEO perspective. And at the top of those spaces, we need to immediately be telling your client and Google what it is that you do. So here's a proven formula for the top of this page, specifically your homepage, that I want you to keep in mind. It's 3 parts. It's what we call a life change statement, a descriptor statement, and a call to action. Now I'm going to give you some examples of what those look like. But the goal here, and what you can ask yourself as you're loading up your own website and making these changes, is this space communicating who I serve, what I help them do, and where I'm located? Your hero spaces need to do all 3 of those to connect to your clients and to connect to Google. Google is looking to understand where you are and what you do. Your clients are looking to understand where you are, what you do, and who you serve to make sure that they're actually in the right place. Are you speaking to them? So that life change statement, that is a statement that communicates kind of the overarching vision or the relief or the transformation that someone might experience as a result of working with you. Now, we don't make promises, right, in your marketing, but we do cast vision about what's possible. That's the goal of your life change statement. And like I said, I'm going to give you some examples of what those are. Then a descriptor statement. This is a no fluff description of what this page is about, what your homepage is about, what that specialty page is about. Online anxiety therapy. And then your location tacked on there in Nashville. That's a great descriptor statement. Online anxiety therapy in Nashville. And then a call to action. We're going to talk a lot more about call to action a little bit later in this training, but have an opportunity there for someone to take action right away. Maybe that's all they need to know. More likely, maybe they've been to your website before and they load yours up because they're ready to take action. Let's allow them to do that right away. Let's capitalize on that momentum. So here's some examples of this kind of threefold formula in action. And these are from actual websites of my clients that we've seen be effective. Here's one. I actually included this in...
I'm not sure I understand.
Ooh. Siri doesn't understand. This is actually an example that I included because I heard from this client just this morning that she got another client who said that their website resonated with them. So her life change statement, not going back to what was normal, moving forward to what is next. That was the life change statement we wrote for her. Descriptor statement, right? No fluff description. Therapy for individuals, couples, and families in the Twin Cities. in Minnesota. And then the call to action, schedule free consultation. So you load up her website for the first time, not going back to what was normal, moving forward to what is next. Therapy for individuals, couples, and families in the Twin Cities, schedule free consultation. That's going to resonate with a certain type of person and let them know that they're in the right place. If they're looking for therapy for individuals, couples, or families, if they're wanting to move forward, they're in kind of this state of change, we are speaking their language. Google is also reading that and understanding, okay, there's therapy for individuals. She mentions couples. We know where she's located. Okay, this is making sense to Google as well. So that's one example. Here's another one. Space for healing, skills for growth. That was the life change statement. So that was kind of an overarching summary of what this clinician does. And then her descriptor statement, therapy in Minnesota, anxiety, trauma, perinatal trauma. So immediately we've called out her niche, or her specialties, which are anxiety, trauma, and perinatal trauma. We've communicated where she is, Minnesota, and we've also offered kind of this hopeful statement, space for healing, skills for growth. If someone's looking for that, we're connecting to them. And here's another one. This is at the top of a specialty page. So maybe you have an anxiety specialty page, maybe you have one for trauma or grief or teens. Here's an example of how you can put this formula into action there. Anxiety and overwhelm don't have to define this chapter of your life. Life transition, depression, and anxiety counseling in Texas. So this clinician decided to group some of her specialties together into a single page, life transitions, depression, anxiety. And then she had this overarching statement, anxiety and overwhelm don't have to define this chapter of your life, because most of the clients she works with are in a state of change. And so she was speaking to that with that statement. So that's an example of what you could put there at the top of something like an anxiety page. Now, this is so much different than loading up your homepage and just seeing the name of your practice. If your name is Hopeful Counseling Incorporated, how much more impactful would it be to load up a website that says space for healing, skills for growth, therapy in Minnesota, than loading it up and it just says Hopeful Counseling Incorporated, right? This space is so important. So in less than 30 minutes, one huge change you can make for both Google and for your clients is to load up each of the pages of your website and optimize the top section of each one. And make sure that you are immediately communicating the three things we talked about: who you serve, what you can help them do, and where you're located. I should be able to answer all three of those without scrolling or moving my mouse when I load up each page of your website. So that's number one. Optimize your hero spaces. If you take nothing else away from this training, please go do that this weekend. And it will, I promise it'll take you less than 30 minutes. Okay, number two, please go add a headshot of yourself to your homepage. Hopefully there's one on your about page. Hopefully. There definitely needs to be one on your about page. But your homepage is another really important place to be forming connection with people. Now, a lot of what we talk about in this group is about the words that you use, because that is the number one dictator of whether or not someone reaches out to you. But images are powerful, right? They say that a picture is worth 1,000 words. Like, that's true in marketing as well. And there's something so powerful about a smiling, eye contact headshot with someone that is looking specifically for a therapist. Now, you're going to hear advice out there, and these words have come from my mouth as well. No one cares about you in your marketing. And you know what? That's true. That's why in the processes that I teach, we don't introduce you right away in your marketing copy. We spend a lot of time empathizing with your client and not talking about you, but there is a time and a place to do it. And that is because your client is, at the end of the day, looking to make a one-to-one connection with someone. They want to sit down with a person, not a practice. They want to understand that there is a human behind the words that they're reading, and adding a headshot is the best and fastest way to do that. It is a-okay if you only have one headshot of yourself that you like. It's fine if there's the same image on your homepage as there is on your about page. Please don't split hairs about this, but connect with your clients visually on your homepage. It is a powerful technique. I was actually just meeting with a Confident Copy student yesterday. I offer a bonus 30-minute call to some of the people that enroll into Confident Copy, and she said that people will sometimes ask her, because her practice name is different than her name, wait, you're Dr. Melville, but are you this practice? I didn't know. And then she added a picture to her homepage, and all of a sudden people are like, oh, okay, I'm in the right place. So Dr. Melville, who I heard about specifically from like a word of mouth referral, is this practice. You know, they're drawing that connection. And it was a really powerful way to form that human one-to-one connection that those clients were looking for. So please, today, right now, after this training, go just pop in a headshot of yourself on your homepage. Form that connection visually because it's what your client is looking for, okay? Super, super important. All right, and then number 3, I need to take a sip of water first. Number 3, the third like game-changing tweak that you can make to your website, and this one's gonna seem really minor, but is so powerful, is to please add 2 to 3 call to action buttons, not links, but buttons to every page of your website. I want to see 2 to 3 buttons on your homepage, on your about page, on your specialty pages. You don't have to add them to your contact page. Hello, we're on the, you know, that's where the buttons are leading. But each of the core pages of your website, there should be at least 2 to 3 opportunities for someone to go take action. Now, why? One of the biggest things, and again, we know this from watching the behavior of people online, one of the biggest things that can keep someone from reaching out is simply just not knowing what to do next. If we're not offering and making it very, very easy to reach out to you, the barrier that someone has to cross in order to decide to reach out to you is high. If we can add really, really clear calls to action on your website, we lower that barrier. We make it easier. We make it less intimidating. We make it clearer about what's next. This is not about being pushy. I've heard from people before, well, I don't want to seem pushy in my website. We're not being pushy. We're inviting them to take action when they're ready. We're not shaming them if they don't. We're simply making the opportunity available, right? I used to use the analogy, and I talk about it a lot. It just came to my mind. I haven't shared it in a long time. But imagine that you're talking to someone about a party that they're throwing, and they're telling you about how amazing it is and how, all the frills that they're going to have and the great food that's going to be there, and then they don't invite you to it. You'd be disappointed, right? Hopefully your website copy is connecting to this client, showing them how much you understand them and how you can help them and what they're going to learn. And if you don't offer an opportunity and an invitation to take action, we're just leaving them hanging. So there needs to be a way to take action in multiple spots throughout the page so that no matter where they are on that page, if they've decided you're the therapist for them, we capitalize on that momentum and we get them over into booking that consultation or that first appointment with you. Now, the other thing I want to be clear about here is that your calls to action need to be clear. These shouldn't be buttons like contact me or get started. I don't know what's going to happen when I click that button. Be descriptive and be clear. Schedule free consultation. Book first appointment. What can they expect when they hit that button? What is the next step for them? Make that really clear. Again, if it's get started or contact me, I don't know what's expected of me. And so that barrier still stays really high. Schedule free consultation? Oh, okay. So if I click this, I can hopefully maybe pick the date and time that's going to work for me. Maybe you have a self-scheduling through Calendly or Simple Practice. That's going to make it really easy and much more of a no-brainer to reach out to you. So please, on your website, invite people to take action. Go look up your website. Go pull up your website after this training and review each page. Have I made it easy to reach out to me from this page? If someone decided right here that they wanted to work with me, is there an easy way to reach out to me? So there should be at least 2 to 3 calls to action on every core page of your website. Again, that's your home page, your about page. Don't forget about that. Those specialty pages, make it super clear what needs to happen in order to connect with you and to take that next step. All right, those are the 3 game-changing tweaks that will take you less than 30 minutes. So this weekend, you can go knock every single one of these out. Number 1, optimize the top spaces, the hero spaces of every single one of your pages. Show Google and show your client that they're in the right place and what that page is about. 2, go add a headshot to your homepage. Form that visual connection, that one-to-one connection that your clients are looking for. And 3, add 2 to 3 calls to action to every core page of your website so that people are invited into that next step as soon as they realize that you're the therapist for them. These tweaks can make huge changes to your website. They can be game changers when it comes to clients deciding whether or not to reach out to you. I'm passionate about these things because I've actually seen these changes work, and I want them to work for you. If you need help here, I've mentioned Confident Copy. Confident Copy is my 10-week marketing mentorship where I walk you through and I support you through figuring out what the heck your niche is, how to write this website copy in a way that's Google and client friendly, what you need to know in order to put all of this into action. Confident Copy is incredible, and I'm seeing have heard amazing results from clients just even in the last 30 days from Confident Copy. So there's that. If you're overwhelmed by the design and the tech and all that, I've taught, adding a headshot to your homepage and buttons and things like that, please look into my Squarespace website templates. They were designed to make it very easy to DIY a beautiful and professional website. I continue to hear amazing feedback from people that they launch their websites and are filling their practices using those designs. So a really easy way to get a therapist-focused design that is based on the marketing frameworks that I've actually seen work. The frameworks I teach inside of Confident Copy are the frameworks you see in those website templates. So they're built with strategy in mind. So please do reach out and check out those if that's something that you're needing support with. Alrighty, seeing some comments here. Awesome, we have Oklahoma, New Hampshire. Colleen, for the call to action, if we don't have self-scheduling, what is an example of a good specific call to action? Great question, Colleen. Even if you're leading people into just a contact form, as long as that contact form is focused on a consultation, then I think that a button schedule free consultation is still very, very relevant. On that contact form, I like to ask your name, your phone and email, how they prefer to be contacted for the consultation, and if there's anything that they'd like to share prior to it. So that you're still keeping the focus on that consultation. It's not just a generic contact form, name, email, message, but actually like, how do you prefer to be contacted? You can even add in there if there's what time of day do you prefer to, for me to reach out, whatever. But keep that contact form focused on the consultation. And as long as that's in place, I think the button that says schedule free consultation is still very appropriate there. So that's a really good question. I'm not seeing any other questions. So that's great. Okay, some San Diego, awesome. Janine from the UK, so happy you're here, representing our folks across the pond. Excellent. Colleen, you're so welcome. I'm not seeing any other questions, which is great. Hopefully that means this really was relevant and made sense to you. Of course, if you are watching this later, maybe you're catching the replay, just drop that hashtag replay and your question, and I'm always happy to return to this even if you're not here with us live. Alrighty. Just double checking here. Wonderful. Well, thanks for being here with me today, guys. Thanks again for hanging out while I took some time off last week. I'm so thrilled to be back and to be supporting each of you. If you have any questions about the things that I've talked about here, please don't hesitate to drop those into the comments. You are always welcome to make a post here in the group requesting feedback on your website, asking any questions related to marketing. We are here to support you, and I think you'll find that this community is one of the best on Facebook. So thanks so much for being here, guys. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll talk to you next time.